That's one of the great things about reties. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk, y'all. What is good, flockers? That is my fellow lockers and aspiring lockers. If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can join the flock, and also make sure to hit that like button as it really helps my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about all the different pros to interlocking. So if you're interested in hearing about those, then stick around. Pro number one to interlocking is that you do not have to finish your retie in one sitting. Although it may take a really long time to do a retie, you don't have to necessarily start on Monday and finish on Monday. If you want to start today and do a little bit today and then do a little bit tomorrow or later on in the afternoon or in the evening, that's totally fine. That's the beauty of interlocking, is that you can go with your head half done and it's not going to be that noticeable to people. Of course, they're going to notice that there's a difference in the ones that are freshly retied and the ones that aren't, but it's not like you have to throw on a do-rag or a bonnet to go out of your house if you've only retied part of your head and not the other part. Pro number two to interlocking is that you can literally do it anywhere. Unlike with retwisting, for example, where you may need to have your hair wet and then maybe use a setting gel or some type of gel to hold your hair in place and clips. You don't need to use any of that unless you choose to when you're interlocking. So you can do a couple of locks at home, and then maybe you need to go pick your kids up from school. So while you're sitting in the carpool line, you can sit there and do a couple of interlocks while you're waiting on your significant other, your spouse, or a friend while they're in the grocery store and you're like, I'm not trying to go into the grocery store, but I'm going to stay in the car and do some interlocking while you're gone. Totally works because you can literally do it anywhere. The tool that I use for interlocking is a plastic needle, and so you can easily take one of those on a plane with you and be doing interlocking while you're in the air going from point A to point B. So that is definitely a pro, that you can pick up your tool and literally retie your hair anywhere you go. Pro number three is that it lasts for a long time. Although it may take a long time to do, there's a reward in the fact of how long you can go in between reties. Whereas when you have traditional locks and you're retwisting, you may retwist more often so that your locks look fresh. With retying, you can retie today and your locks will still look like you just retied them for at least a week, sometimes 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how much your hair grows and how quickly it grows. But even with that, even on week 3 and 4, your hair still looks almost freshly redone. So it's not until you get into week 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, depending on your new growth length, that you actually need to do a new retie. So that is a huge pro of not having to do your hair as often to have that fresh, maintained look. Pro number 4 for interlocking is that it is great for people with active lifestyles. If you love to run, to swim, to work out in general, retwisting might not always work into the active lifestyle if you want to have the maintained look. But the great thing with interlocking is that once you've interlocked your hair, it's not going anywhere. So you can do all those fun activities that either cause you to sweat or that have you in water because your hair is not going to unravel. Now, granted, if you have sister locks, brother locks, or you're just in the very beginning stages of your locks, there is a thing called slippage that could happen, but you're a lot less prone to have slippage when you have interlocking. So if you do have starter interlocks, of course I'm not suggesting that you go hop in a pool and go swimming, but as your locks mature and you're interlocking, you're not going to have to worry about that anymore. If you want to hop in a pool or you want to hop in the ocean, you can do that with no problem. Pro number 6 for interlocking is that you can somewhat form your lock into the size that you wanted. Now, not completely, but what I mean by this is that depending on the type of rotation that you choose, be it the 2-point rotation, the 3-point rotation, or the 4-point rotation, you can kind of mold your lock in the sense of you can decide if you want it to be larger and swell more and be fluffier, like with the 2-point rotation, or if you want it to be a little bit more compact but not super tight and compact and still allow a little bit of room for it to swell, then maybe you decide to go with the 3-point rotation. Or if you like the more condensed look and for it to be a little bit more cylindrical, not cylindrical completely, but a little bit more uniform, super compact, then you can go with the 4-point rotation. So of course, at the end of the day, the size of your part for that particular lock is going to determine how large or small that lock is, but you still have a little bit of control over what the length of the lock looks like, whether, like I said, you want it poofier and frizzier and swell more, or if you want a more condensed, smaller lock, then you can choose between the 2-point, the 3-point, or the 4-point rotation. So that's definitely a pro of being able to kind of manipulate your hair in a way and decide what type of lock you want to cultivate. All right, well, if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And even more so, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe and like this video. It's so helpful. And it also helps the algorithm here on YouTube to help push my videos and to let me know what type of content you all are enjoying. I really hope that you're having a wonderful day or evening or morning when you're watching this video. And remember to go out and to be kind to others. Bye.